The Bahamas telecommunications company BTC is preparing for the end of its monopoly on cellular services in about a year's time. CEO Jeff Houston spoke with our Janae and Noel Ferguson on how the company is preparing for the competition to come.
BTC presently enjoys exclusivity on providing wireless services, a part of the agreement with the government when 50% of the company's shares were sold to Cable and Wireless. But that's all about to change when the market opens in about 18 months. And according to CEO Jeff Houston, the pressure is on.
Huge pressure. It's a huge amount of pressure on the business. You know, we are very far from being the business that we need to be to compete in a very modern and competitive environment. So we need to refresh a lot in terms of our technology, our network, our services, our customer service, our distribution, our pricing, our skills. Everything needs to be fixed and refreshed so that the business can withstand the rigors of very, very aggressive competition.
One thing that executives hopes will set them apart from others, like Cable Bahamas, who have already launched phone net services comparable to BTC's Vibe service, is customer service. Patricia Walters, VP of Customer Service, says this is paramount.
Because everybody will be able to get the same technology at some time, and we can always have the price battles, but service is what will differentiate us. We at BTC will be reaching out throughout the whole of the Bahamas to make it more convenient for customers to do service.
Mr. Houston says that BTC has a huge agenda to complete in the next several months and have already launched a 4G network and opened several stores. But what's next?
We expect to be cutting over to a new prepaid mobile billing system by end of this month and a new SMS platform. So all those funny little issues customers have been having on a Friday evening where they get problems with topping up, we expect to cure all that by the end of May as well. We are also looking at some significant price changes as well on our mobile business over the next month. So we're going to continue rolling out more 4G right across all the family islands. We expect to complete that by the end of the summer. So you know, there's a lot. BTC has got a hugely packed agenda again over the next 6 to 9 months.
Janae and Noel Ferguson, ZNS News.
Tonight, a teenager is in hospital after a gunman shot him in the abdomen. Police say 2 teenage boys were walking north on Augusta Street sometime after 2 o'clock this afternoon when they were approached by a man who they knew. That's when police say the man shot at the pair, hitting one of them. He was taken to hospital by private vehicle. His condition is unknown. Police are also investigating 2 overnight murders. They're searching for the man they believe is responsible for a shooting death which occurred just after 11 o'clock last night. Police say the victim had just arrived at a residence on Goggle Eye Road off Soldier Road when he was approached by a man wearing a red and blue Tommy hooded jacket who shot him multiple times. The victim died on the scene. Police are also investigating and appealing to members of the public who may have any information regarding this crime to contact them. Meantime, police in Grand Bahama are investigating the stabbing death in the 8 Mile Rock area. They say a 46-year-old male of Hannah Hill was found with stab wounds to the upper right back around 10:15 last night. When emergency personnel got there, the victim was unresponsive. His death marks the 5th homicide on Grand Bahama this year. Again, police appealing for information which may assist in solving this crime. The appellate court was scheduled to hear the appeal of Foster Knowles, who we'll see in just a second wearing a white t-shirt, but the matter has been pushed back. Now that's because the Crown prosecutor wasn't prepared for court. Now that didn't sit well with acting President Christopher Blackman, who scolded the prosecutor for not being ready. He also indicated that the situation was, quote, a nuisance and disgrace and a waste of the court's time, end quote. The case has been adjourned to May 24th. At that time, the court will hear Knowles' substantive appeal against his conviction for firearm possession and escape. Police arrested 3 men after finding 2 pounds of marijuana worth $2,000 on the street. Police found the drugs yesterday in a Dodge Caravan in the Bernard Road area. 3 men, a 42-year-old, 35-year-old, and 30-year-old, have been taken into custody. Meantime, police in Grand Bahama found 10 pounds of drugs valued at $8,000 at the Regional Air Charter Terminal. An investigation is underway. It's day 2 on the job for the new executive chairman of the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, BAIC. That's Mr. Arnold Forbes. A noted businessman and attorney, Forbes says topping his list of priorities is helping to foster greater food security in the Bahamas. With some $500 million spent on importing food each year, Forbes believes much of that money can stay within the local economy if more food items are produced from home.
We are importing 95 to, if not all of our food presently. We need to change that. I will not sit here and tell you that in 5 years' time we will be feeding ourselves. But what I'd like to see done during my time here at BAIC is to lay the foundation for some form of food security in the Bahamas, where we get our farmers up to speed in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, to get them pointed in the right direction, so that in 10 years' time or 20 years' time, we would be importing less food than we are presently. Okay, and that is really the goal.
Well, turning to industry, the new BAIC chairman plans to place renewed emphasis on light industry and manufacturing. He used the tourism industry with its 5 million annual visitors as a prime example of a potentially lucrative market which already exists.
Take, for example, our hotels. We import all of the garments, I guess some of the government services like prison and police force and defense force are importing some of their wares as well. Why aren't we setting up small factories to supply these industries with the garments and whatever else that they need? Why are we going overseas to do this when, you know, our unemployment is at an unacceptable level? That would create jobs.
Now, Forbes says he'll draw on his experience in the private sector to revolutionize BAIC, creating opportunities for entrepreneurship and putting a dent in the high unemployment numbers.